All right, now we're going to talk about calories. We talked a little bit about fat. Now let's talk about the overall calorie, right? A calorie is anything, is any unit of energy and heat in your body, right? Anything that you consume. Everybody needs calories. Everybody probably needs more calories than what they're getting. People are probably under eating for their body caloric intake, especially as we have gotten to be larger humans, just
Yeah.
like taller and have more mass and we move around and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about cutting calories. So if I cut my calories, Emily, and I'm trying to eat fewer calories, what is happening in my body? What is that doing to my body? Am
Yeah.
I going to showcase my muscular built physique underneath that, or am I just cutting my calories?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm sure you could speak on this too. When we're cutting calories, or often, I hear calorie deficit. That's a big word that I hear all the time. So what happens is you're kind of putting your body into what's technically like a starvation mode. So what happens is that you're kind of burning that fat that we talked about because your body's now using that for fuel. So say you're in a calorie deficit, maybe we've lost that weight that we wanted to lose. Now, am I going to look like a bodybuilder? Am I look like what I see on the magazines? No, you're not, because what's happening is you're just removing fat. You're not training those muscles. You're not fueling those muscles to get them to grow, because in order to grow something, we need to have those calories in there. And I know a lot of times what people think is that, cutting calories, being in that calorie deficit, that it's a healthy thing. It makes you healthier. But that's not always the case, because at the end of the day, being thinner and smaller doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthier.
Right. And you talked about like looking, or what the body appearance is, right? If I cut my calories and get rid of all my body fat, I'm underneath an untrained person, meaning someone who has not done resistance training for their muscles and tried to add at least some size and or thickness to those muscles. You are going to look like a skeleton with skin hanging off of it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no the muscles are just aligned with the bone, right? Like it's just you're just going to look like you got a straight bone going down your arm with a little bit of muscle around it, and it's not going the appearance that you're looking at in the magazines. That's not how you achieve that appearance.
Yeah.
And when you're training, when you are trying to do that, when you are trying to add muscle mass, you need to eat more food. You need to eat calories, because it's very calorically intense on your body to try and hold and control those calories and turn them into sustainable muscle mass.
Exactly.
Yeah. So cutting calories it's kind of counterproductive, really. You're not getting benefits out of doing that. But I think a lot of people think of it like that. They think of their food intake or their caloric intake as that kind of a thing. Like, ooh, if I can just stay under 2,000 a day or something, then it'll start melting off me or something. And it doesn't really happen like that.
Well, and I think, if we're, if it's kind of a hard theory to grasp, I always think of like those cartoons, with the old men with the thin arms, and they have the little bubble muscle. That's kind of what you would see if you lost all your fat mass. You might have some muscle, but it's not going to be that well-trained, well-performing muscle. It's not going to be very, very strong, which is why, focusing on weight, focusing on a calorie deficit isn't really going to make you any healthier. It's not going to make you any stronger, any more flexible. allow you to do those daily things, part of your lives any better.
Yeah. And like as we age, your ability to hold fat and to hold healthy fat on your body and support your muscles and support your energy and support your movement declines. And that's why you'll see like grandma and grandpa so skinny and so, like their skin's just hanging off them. They don't have any muscles and their posture's starting to droop. That's because their muscles are atrophying. They are losing muscle. They are losing strength. They are slowly falling down to the ground because their muscles can no longer maintain them upright. That's what's happening. And so if you start that at age 20, by having to fight this fight of cutting your calories and being in a caloric deficit, it doesn't bode well for your 50s, 60s. It really doesn't.
Exactly. And that's, sometimes I mention to people that, when we talk about like BMI, people who are older, if they're in an overweight per se BMI, that's actually healthier. They have the longest life longevity and they're able to live longer because they have that fat to support the muscles. They have it, and if they fall, they have that padding to prevent their bone from breaking, especially with older people, a fall could really be the last straw before everything goes up in flames. Any type of break can really decrease someone's, quality of life, can actually decrease their time of life too, as we age.
Yeah. So let's try not to, if you take one thing away from this discussion, try not to think about cutting calories. Try to think about adding things in with both food and with movement and or exercise, right? Like I'm trying to add certain things in, add nutrients in, add this in, add your your support in, and then slowly over time, over the course of 5-10 year, full life, your body composition will change, your health will improve, your strength will improve, your mobility will improve, your longevity will improve versus cutting calories and fighting a losing battle basically for the to your age, right?
Exactly. We can't improve things if we're not adding things into the mix. If we just keep taking away things, you're not going to get a good end result. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you again for an awesome discussion. I love kind of hearing about how our topics kind of mix. They are both food and movement related. So thank you again for joining me today. And we'll check in again next week to talk more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.